Let's get deep, going deep, Chad and JT.
This ad comes from MyBookie. Thank you, MyBookie, for sponsoring us. You guys are legends and I really appreciate it. Let me get into the read. Sure, watching football is fun, but it's more entertaining when you have some action on the games. Guys, you've heard me talking about this for weeks, and some of you are still on the sidelines. Whether you're an expert or rookie, you should be betting at MyBookie. If you're the kind of guy who likes to bet a little and win a lot, like playing the numbers on roulette, you can create a big parlay. Pick 3 teams to win. If you hit all 3, you could turn $100 into $600. Dude, that is so much to bet on. There's playoff baseball, basketball, hockey, primetime fights, and more. World Series. But MyBookie is the one bet I know you'll be happy with all year. I recommend these guys because I really trust them. MyBookie has been in business for years. They've got great online reviews, and their mobile site is easy to use. MyBookie is offering a 100% bonus for the last time this year. That's right. Have you been thinking about placing a pick all season but haven't manned up yet? Well, dude, it's time to make your move, okay? After Sunday's kickoff, you can kiss that bonus goodbye. Also, make sure to follow at BetMyBookie on Twitter or Instagram. That's at BetMyBookie. They personally respond to every mention in DM. Not to mention they've given away nearly $10,000 in free money to their followers this football season. Whoa. You'll be the first to know as soon as new odds and props are posted. Yes. Log on to MyBookie right now. Don't miss out on your last opportunity to collect the industry's biggest bonus. Use promo code DEEP. Promo code is DEEP. D-E-E-P. What's up, Stokers of Stoke Nation? This is Chad Kroger coming in with Going Deep with Chad and JT podcast with episode 42. 41, 42?
I'm not sure.
40-something, my dogs. 40-something of Going Deep with Chad and JT with my compadre, Jean-Thomas. What's up?
Boom, clap.
Da booma clappa. Dude, so we got to start off this pod with a heavy political thing going on. Prop 7, if you're in California. It's about daylight savings, my dude. This is probably one of the most important political things happening in my lifetime, I'd say.
And which side are you on?
I'm on taking away daylight savings. Because it comes around in October. They enact this barbaric law, and we lose a whole hour of sun. It becomes dark at like 5.
It gets dark sooner.
It's like the government's way of like, all right, it's time to not be stoked for this until March or wherever they change it back. So we can vote on it now.
Yeah, extend our daylight.
Yeah, what's your side? How do you feel about it?
I mean, man, I feel so embarrassed. I'm not as informed as I should be on like the urgent issues, and I need to bone up. So I'm gonna read more into daylight savings. I do remember not liking it because it took away from my tanning hours.
Yes.
From my kind of universal perspective, I think we got to do away with it. I mean, I'm on board with you, and let's keep the sun out.
Maybe for the next podcast or before the election, we could get some stats in to be like who's tanning and who has practice, so we can sort of decipher, all right, it's more beneficial for those who tan. Dude, democracy.
You're not hanging out with the Bluesons. They don't believe in daylight savings. I love them. I'm going to hang out with Mark.
They don't believe in quality sunlight.
They don't believe in sunlight. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Dad, come on.
They're stuck in the past.
Honey, let her see them.
They're stuck.
The boy's not even tan.
You seen that pasty family?
I bet you they don't even have artificial sun lamps in their house.
Like John F. Kennedy did. I heard he did that, and that's why he had a tan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude.
The guy continues to be even more of a legend than ever.
I mean, they say he beat Nixon because it was the first televised debate, and everyone was like, dude, look at how much more tan he is than this other guy.
I know. You look at him, you're like, even now, you're just like, wow, dude. Like,
and Nixon was from San Clemente. It's like, dude, get out in the sun a little bit.
Yeah.
Tricky dick.
He's just one of those dudes that didn't realize what he had. Maybe if he had gone to like a winter heavy state, then he would have been like, oh, fuck, I need to get out in the sun. Like, I have so much sun privilege here.
The conservative writer George Will said that Nixon was ill-suited for politics because he didn't like people. And I'll tell you who doesn't like people who aren't getting sun, because the sun makes you happy and more extroverted.
People who vote no on Prop 7. Maybe at Politicon next year, we could have a booth. You'd be like, all right, let's sell this once and for all and just talk it out.
Daylight savings. Yeah, well, we were at Politicon, and man, there was some vitriolic debate going on there.
Yeah.
It was exhausting. It was a great opportunity. I loved it. It was fun to be there, but it was a heated environment.
I think it's so cool how they do that, how they let both sides come in pretty equally to debate things together, you know? I think it's a cool thing that they're doing.
It is. And I mean, they said that the ticket sales were like a little bit lower this year because people were so politically fatigued. Or that was one hypothesis that me and one of the guys who worked there tossed back and forth. But I believe it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was still a lot of excitement, energy, and people. And I mean, everyone was nice to us.
Met some awesome people.
Yeah.
I was really pumped. Yeah. All the people there were so nice to us, for sure.
And then
press conference was fun.
Fun doing a panel with Rick Unger.
The guy's a beast.
He was really cool.
We got to get him on the pod.
We will, yeah. He was very nice.
Richard
Unger, I'm so sorry.
No, it's Rick.
Oh, it is?
He goes by Rick, yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I'm bad with names.
You are.
Yeah. I forget. People tell me their name, and then, like, I can't wait for somebody else to come up and meet them so I can get their name again.
Dude, the funniest is when you'll be like, I'll be like, yeah, the other day with Hank, and you're like, his name's Hank? I've been calling him Frank for 6 months. And I'm like, really?
I was a groomsman at this guy's wedding, and for the first year we knew each other, I thought his name was Travis. It was actually Mike. And
that's so different.
Yeah.
I love how different the name. Like,
yeah, he looks like a Travis.
The only letter that's similar is an I.
And then we have another big issue. We're not going to be checking our phones today. We've posted some clips, Stokers, and you guys were quick to point out that in every clip, Chad and I are not looking at each other and we're staring at our phones. And I mean, the truth is we're deeply addicted. I mean, my phone's got tentacles on my face.
Yeah, I would just like to extend sincere gratitude to the Stokers for calling me out on my bullshit. I have an addiction and I'm working on it, and the first thing is admitting it. But dude, this has to be the trickiest addiction of all. You know, it's because
it's where our activism happens.
Yeah, it's the office. It's the office.
But we're going to try not to check them, and we're just going to be present, except for the moments when we have to check it.
But we do have notes on the phone. That's a lot of times why we're checking them.
And now we're taking calls on the phone.
Less phone, more mind.
All right, maybe we should get into we got some great topics this week.
Oh, yeah.
So first up, Keira Knightley in an interview said that she doesn't let her daughter watch certain movies because she thinks movies are a bad influence. Like, she doesn't think movies should be used to instructionally for morality, basically.
And specifically the Disney princesses.
Right.
I thought the article brought up a good point where it's like, I think they'll less think about what these movies taught them and think more about the fact that they have a problematic mother. Or not a problematic mother. A mother who finds problems in everything. Which is like, to me, because Kristen Bell said something too, and it's like, you're just looking for stuff to be righteous about.
And I think it also depends on the movies you pick. And like some movies, like the Fast and Furious, like the loyalty to family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sticking up for what you believe in. Putting family above the law. Like, even if you don't agree with that, it's an interesting moral question. And I don't think just because it's complicated or because it doesn't fit with contemporary morality, it should just be scrubbed away.
Dude, perfect example. I thought there was a ghost in my room last night. I woke up at 2 a.m. and I'd been watching some scary stuff because it's Halloween. I thought there was a ghost in my room. I put on Jerry Maguire, and the good vibes and inspiration alleviated my panic, and I was able to go back to sleep.
And that's a wonderful movie for morality because he's a complicated character. Mm-hmm. You know, he doesn't really appreciate this wonderful woman who's totally loyal to him, but he does realize that he's working in like a kind of cutthroat corporate world, and for his own salvation, he needs to, you know, be more dedicated just to like humanistic values. Mm-hmm. And then that ends up benefiting him in the corporate world because people see that and they want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and that made me think, man, if I could just sort of ground myself more into humanness, I can defeat this ghost.
Yeah.
You know, if I can
banish the ghost.
Yeah, if I can just like find that, if I can hit bottom with whatever this ghost is doing to me and then just rise up like a phoenix full of humanity, I can just crush this ghost.
And I think it's also, movies are great for teaching us that morality is not as simple as like they try to tell us it is when we're a kid. Like my dad showed me the movie Sleepers, and it's about a couple of kids who get molested, and then two of them become criminals, and they kill the guy who molested them later in the movie. And then one of their good friends is a priest played by Robert De Niro, and he's on the stand, and he lies to protect the kids. And I realized, oh, like you can lie and still have honor. And that was the first time I had really encountered, or you could argue you can't, but that the movie basically suggested that. And I was like, wow, that's really, really interesting.
Yeah, and
And it expanded my boy brain.
yeah, it just introduces you to situations you never would have even thought of.
Right.
And like one of them, they're like, well, you know, Cinderella, that's a big bad lesson in consent. And the kid's probably like, I never would have thought about that until you just brought it up right now. So that's kind of how
It's simpler sometimes than people think it is.
Yeah. They're like, whoa, what's this? Prince kissing the sleeping woman? You're like, yeah, I think you're reaching.
Yeah, because you know that's not logical, because if any one of your friends was ever like, I don't know, I mean, I remember Cinderella, and you just go for it, we'd all be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Cinderella? Like, that's your excuse?
Yeah. You
That
sucked
does
face,
not make sense.
You sucked face with Trish while she was blacked out to try and wake her up and become a princess?
Nice try.
Nice try, Carl.
I think when I was a Black Studies major for 1 year in community college, I got really into this author, Michael Eric Dyson, and he was talking about hip hop and kind of like extolling it as like a really important American art. And he basically said hip hop at its best can insightfully point out, you know, issues in our culture and in ourselves. And at its worst, it still reflects our worst pathologies. So even if a story has bad morality in it, it was made because that morality existed at that time. So even the stuff that's bad, we can still use it as a way to study the past and see where our thinking was wrong.
Yeah.
So if rap's like too much about consumerism or like, you know, wealth and stuff like that, well, what does that say about our culture? I mean, that's obviously something our culture celebrates. So it's important to still have it, even if we don't agree with it.
For sure.
So I think Keira Knightley and Kristen Bell, I respect you both. You're both great actresses, but like, you know, maybe the unevenness of some of these stories is good for the children.
Yeah.
More art.
Yeah. Yeah. I love them both too. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean, Black Pearl is one of my favorite movies.
It's so good, dude.
So many good tans in that movie.
And she's so good in it.
She's so good. And she's like, one, because it is a vile drink that turns even the most respectable men into da-da-da-da. She says.
Dude, that was good.
Thank you. I watched it recently.
Dude, and then Pride and Prejudice. I mean, this isn't my movie quote of the week, but I read in a review once that her eyes dance with intelligence. And they really do. When you watch it, she's just like this like super witty girl stuck in like a tough culture that won't really let her rise to the heights she deserves. And then like she falls for this kind of like jerkish dude who's actually got a heart of gold. And then at one point he looks at her and he goes, "You have bewitched me, body and soul."
It's a good line.
Yeah, hell yeah. My virgin ass was like, fuck yeah. I want that shit.
I need to come so bad.
I need to come. Yeah, I remember watching that movie and just thinking, man, I'm horny.
I need it.
That was my review of every movie at the time.
Yeah.
Man, I'm horny.
And dude, a lot of times when I watch movies about, you know, that have, you know, bad morality and all that kind of stuff, it's like it sets me more in the right path of like, that's what I don't want to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? You watch that stuff and you're like, I personally, I kind of check myself. I'm like, man, am I exhibiting any of these behaviors?
Dude, it's a good point. Yeah, and I think you did that as a kid. Like, so give your kids more credit. Like, they can probably process this stuff.
Yeah. You can't shield them from this stuff. That's like, no.
And movies are kind of a safe way to introduce them to it because you don't want to just drop them into those actual problems, you know?
Like, I would have never thought of that if an asteroid was coming for Earth to contact someone who drills oil wells in the sea.
But now we know. And then so for our next thing, Stephen Hawking's wheelchair's up for grabs. Like, they're going to auction it off.
Yeah.
And I just was like, dude, it's so obvious that you got to buy it because what if it has like Mike properties to it?
You're genius. I didn't think about it, but yes.
You sit in it and all of a sudden you're like intergalactically connected.
You figure out cold fusion.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool. I want that wheelchair. How much is it going for?
I don't know. I gotta guess it's gonna go for a couple mil.
Man, whoever sits in that is one lucky dude. And also the other stuff that they had of his, he seemed like a jokey, fun dude.
Yeah, I think so.
He loved being on The Simpsons.
He didn't seem jokey and fun because like we always thought him so sedentary, but you don't know, his brain is just dancing with humor.
Probably just inside, he's like, this is hilarious.
Yeah, he's like, dude, this is funny shit.
Dude, he's like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you see that guy fall? Fuck, that was funny as shit.
Dude, this is kind of dark, but when I saw the wonderful documentary Life Itself about Roger Ebert at the end of his life, he lost his jaw due to cancer, and he's smiling the whole movie. And I was like, dude, he's so happy, even though he's going to die, because he really attacked death like a beast. Like he said he wasn't afraid to die because he wasn't afraid to be born. And I was like, man, that is like using philosophy to really tackle the big issues. But then I realized at the end of the movie, he wasn't smiling. It's just when they clipped his remaining face together, it hung in a smile. And I was like, oh, dude, he might have been bumming a little bit more than I thought he was. But he was still pretty stoked. Yeah. And his wife took really good care of him. She's a sweet lady.
According to science, if you make yourself smile, that's proven to make you a little bit happier.
Fake it till you make it.
So that gave him a little bit of a boost, I'm sure.
And he wrote like a mofo up until the end. He was just churning out more of his, just expressing more of what he thought and saw and just giving it all to us.
Do you think at one point they're like, hey, you seem really cheerful today? And he's like, actually, I have a lot of anxiety.
I am in terrible pain. He had so much voice on record of him talking that they could create a computer voice box that was his voice.
Oh, really?
Talk.
Oh, he couldn't talk. Oh,
yeah. But he had so much TV appearances and stuff. They had like every enunciation in there, so it could be mimicked.
They're developing that technology. It's kind of scary.
It's really scary.
Have you heard about that?
No.
How they like recreate Barack Obama's voice and like eventually they'll be able to. I don't know why they're developing this technology because it's a lot of bad things. They're gonna, potential things.
Because people will trick people on the phone and stuff.
Yeah, you can recreate almost exactly anyone's voice. They can, implicate people for stuff and say, "Oh, you said this racist thing," and they're like, even though if someone didn't, they'd be like, they'd have like the recording. And
then Richard Branson would be like, I didn't say this racist thing. And we'd be like, no way, Richard. You really picked on the Mennonites.
He's like, but I love the Mennonites. No,
you don't.
We know the truth.
We got you. And then, dude, the last one, VR.
Creates empathy.
Can make us more empathetic.
Yeah, I believe it. Well, I think it's like the movie thing. It puts you in the situations. The VR at the IMAX Center, it helped me create a lot of empathy for trees because there's a tree game where you're just a friggin' tree. And I was like, damn, being a tree is boring as fuck. So now I know. Yeah.
It is funny, like the examples they used in it. They're like, yeah, like if you do VR to be homeless, like you'll have more empathy for the homeless.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if a lot of people are going to pay for that though.
Hey, how about we do the homeless VR experience?
Hey, I'm going to put on goggles so I can see what it's like to be homeless. Like, well, you could just go talk to a homeless person.
Yeah.
Or go help them out a little bit. I don't know if we need VR for that. It's like, oh, I didn't understand that it sucked to be homeless until I put on these goggles. And then you walk around LA, you're like, no, it's pretty visible.
The sidewalk from this view is just, it sucks.
Yeah, this is shattering.
Oh, that's my tent. Fuck.
I would, when I used to party much harder, I would just sleep on the sidewalk sometimes.
Where?
One time I went out with this girl, Mia, and her friend who was from out of town. And Mia went to sleep, and me and her friend just walked around like the city at like 4 a.m. And then we got back to the apartment. I was like, do you want to hook up? And she was like, nah. And I was like, all right. And then she went inside, and then my phone died. And I walked out of their building, and the gate closed, so I couldn't get back in, and I couldn't call an Uber, and I really didn't know how far it was from my apartment. So I just laid down on the front porch and slept. And then someone came out and was like, you can't be here. And I was like, can I use your phone? I called my brother, and he came and picked me up.
Dude, I used to do something similar. In college, I had this, I was a freshman. I was trying to impress this girl who lived in the same hall as me. And I had this weird idea that if I passed out in the hallway, she'd be like, oh, he's hilarious because he parties so hard. So I would do that on purpose with the hope, because she lived across from me, with the hopes of her waking me up. To be like, hey, what are you doing? I'd be like, oh, crazy times. aren't I just like hilarious and fun? She's like, no.
Can I tell you something? I love it. And I love the commitment,
You love
too.
that?
Yeah.
Dude, I slept there like 10 times.
I bet you.
She woke me up.
See, that's the kind
We
of
did
thing.
date too.
Well, there it is. It worked. I was going to say it's not going to work in the moment, but like 10 years from then, you walk up to her and, you're different people and you go, the reason I always slept in the hallway was because I had a crush on you and I was hoping you'd wake me up one time. She'd be like, you're insane. You go, I was nuts about you. What do you want me to do? And that's when you hook up.
Yeah.
And I've always been big into the 10 years down the road game.
So luckily, it went to 6 months, but similar situation.
It's a testament to patience.
Yeah.
And then, dude, the last thing, Chad and I did some serious reading.
Yeah.
In preparation for this last segment. We read all 6 of, and I'm pumped on that, on the Boston Globe's 6-piece spotlight series on Aaron Hernandez, the former New England Patriots tight end who passed away via suicide while in jail for murdering Odin Lloyd. And it's the same team, the spotlight team that I think there was an Oscar-winning movie made about them, who uncovered all of the Boston Catholic parishes' abuse on boys and girls. And we just did a deep dive in it. And dude, Stokers, to be honest with you, it was a dark place to go. I mean, I'm always happy to read something, but 3 articles in, I was like, this is just bleak.
Yeah, on the drive over here, I was like, damn. A lot of good lessons in environment, the effect of your environment.
Tough.
Because Warren Buffett says you're the average of the 5 dudes you kick it with the most. And look at Par just chugging like a beast. Par drinks hard.
Yeah.
Any liquid, not.
But you're right. I mean, Aaron, his dad was tough on him. He
Yeah.
seemed like a guy who, his dad loved him, but he had a lot of shortcomings.
Yeah.
And then his brother seemed like a good dude, but his brother was probably dealing with his own stuff. And then once Aaron's tough home life pushed him to live with his cousin, whose husband left her for his mom.
Yeah, that was big.
When he was in high school. So you can imagine how shattering that is after losing your dad. And then a lot of gangsters rolled through that house. And they gave him love, but they also, kind of taught him a way of life that was, not good.
Yeah, and he had a lot of complexities bumbling underneath.
Dude, one of them, the sexuality thing.
Yeah.
Like he had a gay relationship with the quarterback of his team, and it actually seemed like it was pretty sweet and nurturing. And it makes you wonder if he could have been comfortable with that side of himself, would a lot of his anger have subsided? I don't know if it's that simple, you know what I mean? Because he had so much going on between the gang world that he was associated with, his difficult home life, and then the concussion problems that he had.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's sad that, and it's hard to measure what repression can do to us.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, I went down I've since blocked, I got net nanny on my computer, so I can't look at porn, which is great because now I can actually look at my laptop as just a tool to do work and to watch movies, and not one that could waste my life on, But I was watching a lot of webcam porn, and I went all the way to watching dudes, supposedly straight guys. No judgment on them. I mean, maybe they are straight, but I talked to them a little bit, and some of them seem gay. But that's neither here nor there. And I was talking to dudes, and that's a part of me that's in there.
Interesting. Yeah, he broke that to me like this week.
Yeah, and I was like, well, dude, on National Coming Out Day, I was like, do I say something? I was like, do I say that I watch gay porn once in a while? And then I was like, nah, because there's like genuinely gay people, and it's more their day. I was like, don't encroach. And I was like,
Nice.
but it is important in a way where I don't want to be ashamed of a part of myself. You know what I mean?
Well, props to you.
But yeah, so Aaron Hernandez, sorry, I hijacked the convo. Like he had that in him, and I guess he would like talk shit to guys sometimes about it. So and then just the way that like, celebrity and ability can,
like the college was like kind of a world of entitlement for him, and then it just increased with the NFL.
It's just all green lights because everyone's protecting him.
It sort of shows you about that culture where it's just like the team winning is kind of the priority. So like everyone kind of knew he was a problem, but just put it aside. Let's fucking win.
That was one of the bleakest parts for me because I'm such a big football fan.
Mm-hmm.
But and I mean, this is true of every big industry, but you really see how bottom line those things are. You know what I mean? Like where players' safety, health, and like and like the well-being of the people around them is really not on the priority list.
It's like seeing Jerry Maguire when the kid is like, what are we gonna do? How many more times are we gonna let this happen? And he's like, your dad's a tank. He's gonna bounce back. And this kid's like, fuck you. It's big.
It's huge. And then, you talk about a guy like Bill Belichick. I mean, I don't think he was like, in the top 5 people responsible for whatever happened. But it's clear that like they were willing to put up with a lot of unknowns, dangerous unknowns, because he was so valuable on the field.
Yeah.
And, maybe it's complicated. I'm sure they saw the best of him too, and they thought he could get better, and they didn't know all the details of how bad he is. But a lot of it felt like they didn't want to know.
Yeah.
Like there was a willful ignorance from everybody around. And not even ignorance, because like with Urban Meyer at Florida, they had a team lawyer who they would call every time they beat the shit out of somebody or did something bad, who would like coach them through it, pay off whoever was mad at them, and get them out of trouble basically without any consequences.
Yeah. Because he was so good. I mean, on the Patriots and stuff. I mean, he like, yeah, it's like, what are you going to just like pull him out? Yeah. So I don't know. And what do you think about this stuff? What with like the shootings, when the shootings started happening about over like a spilled drink at a bar and stuff, like where does that come from? Do you think that do you think that just amps up from repressed feelings with his ego, or just, because I don't know, that one story about how they drove up to those dudes who just like spilled a drink on him.
Killed those 2 guys. Yeah. 2 guys spill a drink on him, and then later in the night they pulled up on their car. I'm sorry to laugh. It's just so insane. I'm like, I can't believe this is real life. Yeah. Pulled up on their car and shot both of them. Yeah. And killed them. Yeah. Yeah, that was, he had a fascination with violence, and definitely there was a part of him that was like, if I don't kill the people who fuck with me, then I'm not a man. Yeah. And it was such a dramatic way to perceive things and so unnecessary.
Well, he said, I get my respect through weapons.
Yeah, and his agent was like, I thought he was kidding. I'm like, well, if he actually has the gun in his hand, you should maybe take him more seriously.
Yeah, nice move. Yeah. I thought he was kidding. We're like, oh, that's scary.
This is a very minor point, but I read an article a couple years ago that I thought was brilliant about how they should let college athletes major in their sport. Mm-hmm. Like, because they spend 40 to 60 hours in their sport. Nobody else is doing that kind of like extracurricular workload and not getting school credit for it. Yeah. Like if you're an actress, you can go to school and major in acting, and you can make money off your acting. Yeah. They treat it like a real part of the curriculum. Yeah. But for some reason, we separate athletics and academics in a way that we don't do with any other kind of developed skill.
Well, what do you think about with acting and stuff? You can do theater. I guess there's minor league, but I feel like in terms of career opportunities, there's a little bit harder to make money with football.
But there's so many things that are hard to make money with that they let you major in. You know what I mean? Like, being like
anthropology.
Yeah, or like an art history major or something. Like, I don't know what the numbers are and how many jobs are available there versus football. But it doesn't necessarily just have to be football. It could be something adjacent to football. You know what I mean? Like coaching development or just...
That'd be a good major.
Yeah. And then you'd actually treat these athletes like students and then let them make money off this stuff. But this is all immaterial. The thing we're really talking about is just this tragedy of Aaron Hernandez's life, which was like, dude, he shot one guy in the head.
He lived.
The guy survived. And then they had a text exchange for like a year talking shit to each other and negotiating how much money Aaron Hernandez should give him. And the guy wanted $5 million. Aaron Hernandez said, I'll give you $1.5 million for shooting him in the eye. I don't know how much you pay someone for that.
You need to pay for what you did.
Yeah. And then the guy was like, if you don't pay me, I'm going to kill you. And that was a lot of where Aaron's paranoia came from, because that guy was saying like, I'll kill you outside of, the football stadium. I'm waiting for you. Yeah. And so he responded by getting like an armored car and hiring 5 ex-cons to do security for him.
Dude, the guy woke up with a bullet hole in between his eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I read that. I'm like, did I misread that? I had to read that a couple times. I'm like, oh, fuck. He lost an eye.
And then there's the concussion part of it, which is, been talked about a lot, but when they showed in the one article just the graph of all the athletes' brains they've studied who had severe concussion syndrome and the way their lives ended, you're like, man, it is... I watched like a documentary on like pig farming and I didn't eat bacon for like a year, but then after a while it just slipped out of my mind and then I went back to bacon and I'm like, all right, these next few weeks of football are going to be tough to watch.
Yeah.
But then I'll probably forget and come back.
Yeah. I'll have impulsive behavior.
All right, should we get to some calls?
Yeah. Stokers, we have heard your thoughts on the... Give us some more feedback on the live call-ins versus written emails. Maybe put up a poll. Or just we're going to mix it up. We're not going to do call-ins every episode. Maybe we'll do live ones on certain ones and then written ones. So we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, we're thinking about just doing the calls once a month, guys. And then the rest of the month, we'll do written in ones as we've been doing. And maybe we'll come up with other things for certain weeks. You know, it'll be... And we'll keep evolving because we want to keep coming up with new stuff.
Hello, you're on with Going Deep with Chad and JT. This is Chad and JT. What up?
What up, brother? It's Bill, man.
Oh, what's up, brother?
Hey.
It's my
JT
big bro.
Playboy, what's happening?
Oh, man, Bill, I've heard so much about you, man. It's a pleasure to finally speak to you.
Where's Strider?
He's at Benihana's.
He's working. He was on last week.
Dude, I've been married for 15 years. Strider needs some life advice. Tell him to give me a call. I'll help him out a little bit.
Oh, thank you, big bro. I will.
Tricks of the trade.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Chad, since you've become such a major Hollywood player, and my brother Mark and I were debating whether you're B, C, or D list celebrity. We're going to go with B list for you.
Oh, thank you.
That's
It's been hard to
generous.
do. It's been hard to do some family business, so I figured I'd call into the pod and run over a few things with you. Is that cool?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hit me with it.
Okay. JT, chime in here.
Sure thing.
Okay, you got to go call Noelle on Wednesday. It's her birthday. Like, you got that?
Oh, that's this one. All right, I'll put it in my calendar. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to write it down, too.
JT will call.
Mark said you left your Good Charlotte CD in his car.
Oh, fuck.
Do you want it back?
I mean, I use Spotify, but I'll take it. I can put it on my wall or something. It's a really good CD.
Wait, you mount it like a gold record or something?
Yeah, I mean, the anthem, that was sort of the anthem for my adolescence, so thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah.
That reminds me of the other thing I wanted to ask you.
What's up?
When we pick you up at Christmas, we only got a 2-row car, so you're cool sitting with luggage in the back because the kids want the captain seats.
Yeah, that's cool. Just make sure, I mean, I was sitting on a bag last time, so if we can just, like, make, like, a little bit more of a nook so I can actually sit in a seat, that'd be awesome.
I didn't want to, like, impose, but I don't mind being inside a bag if that's the best way to get me in the trunk.
Oh, dude, yeah. I've been meaning to ask if we could have JT over.
Well, so, JT, can we put you in a bag and then put you on the roof rack? If, like, it was waterproof or something, would that be okay?
That sounds dank.
Oh, dude, if we got, like, a Thule, you know those Thules? That's perfect for a body.
Yeah,
Just put a breathing hole in there.
whatever the customs of your family are, I fully intend on deeply honoring them. So, yeah, trunk, roof, underneath, whatever works.
Dude,
Oh,
underneath.
dude, well, maybe we'll just tie Mark to the bumper and make him run. So,
Dude, Mark would like that. We like punishment.
Cardio.
okay, so I got the family business out of the way.
Thank you.
I do have one minor beef with the pod.
Hit us.
You guys only talk about fast food, and it makes me feel like Chad's childhood was a little disadvantaged, but, you know, on big occasions we'd go to, like, Olive Garden or P.F. Chang's. So I think it's a good forum, you know, now that your buddy is in the sort of the quick casual industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Benihana's is not an elegant establishment. Like, let's be real about that.
Whoa.
If Strider sacked up, he could get Nobu and Malibu, maybe.
Dude.
I think
So, but quick casual is good. Yeah.
But I'm glad you reminded me of that, bro, because last time I was with Dad, we actually went to Round Table and got salads. So
You got a salad at Round Table.
yeah, so that's quick cash.
That's all. I know you don't want carbs, but that's weak, brother. That's really weak.
Dude, I got
For
bacon.
$5 you can get anything you'd ever want to eat at Round Table.
I got bacon bits though. As dad,
You lived a little.
as dad, I got so much ranch on there.
Oh God, come on. You got to do better than that at Round Table.
All right.
But I like you guys maybe to debate for a few minutes, and I can drop off so you can get some other callers who can ask about their problems with their dicks and whatnot. To talk about your quick casual restaurants of choice.
And problems with their
I would
vaginas, too.
Yeah, I would go for the Old Timer Burger from Chili's as number one. They put the mustard on it. It's really solid.
With a Corona Rita.
Like 6 of them at once.
Yeah.
That would work.
Yes. What else you got? Is that your main pick?
Oh, after that?
Yeah.
Because you moved down to San Clemente after, because I'm a lot old. JT, I don't know if you know, I'm a lot older than Chad, but I grew up in Sacramento, and so I'm always partial to my boy Guy.
Oh yeah.
He's from NorCal, Santa Rosa represent. So anything that sort of has donkey sauce on it is really solid. And tell your other callers not to talk about their own donkey sauce in a few minutes. Just Guy's donkey sauce. All we want.
Okay, for sure. Thank you, big bro.
Hey, get back to bed. Go to bed. The Giants are still losing. Charlie won't go to bed. Okay. I gotta put my kids to bed.
Thanks for calling in, and thank you for the family biz.
JT, keep it real.
Thank you, brother.
I love your work.
Thank you, dude.
Love your work.
Thank you.
And if I come out to SoCal, we'll go shredding together.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll just get barreled, of course, but
Bill always gets barreled.
Chad can watch from the shore.
Yeah, I'll stand on the shore. I'll stand from the pier.
You're getting little duded.
Yeah, dude. All right. Thanks for calling in. Hello? Dude, every time I see them, I just get squashed with criticism, but it's love.
It's good, dude. I don't know if I mentioned this. I was out with my dad, and a stoker came up to me and was like so stoked to see me. Big ups to him and his family. They were really nice. And then I walked back to my family, and everyone was really excited for me. And then my dad said, "Yeah, but how do you monetize it?" Savage burn, dude.
Call from
Jeremy Freed.
to accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
That's nice talking to your bro.
Yeah. What's up, dude? This
Yo.
is Chad and JT.
Yo, I fucking got in. Yo, my guys, what's up?
What's
What's up, dude?
I'm so stoked you answered my call.
Hell yeah, dude.
What's up?
Stoked to talk to you.
All right, yo, my name's Jeremy. I'm out here in Massachusetts, hella far away from you guys.
How's it going out there?
Oh, I'm chilling. It's a little cold though. All right, so dude, I fucking love your guys' podcast. But you guys are so dope. You guys gotta know, you guys are fucking dope.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you, dude.
All right, so I don't want to waste you guys' time. I kind of got like a bit of a situation that me and a lot of my squad could really use some advice for. Yeah, pretty much just here it goes. Like, dude, me and my squad have been tight for like a really long time. So we got this one dude in our squad that fucking dude, he fucking sucks. But like, we're not trying to like pick him out or anything like that because we've been tight with him for a while. So like, we gotta like keep the moral code. Like, we're not just like kicking people out that we don't like. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So basically, like, the situation is that like he's always been like that dude just to like never go out with us. We kind of just like hang with him like on Sundays, watch football, but like on Saturdays, like we're not really calling with him.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, like, he's been wanting to like go to more parties with us and shit and stuff like that. Even though like this dude's whack, like everybody at school thinks he's whack too and shit. So like, but we've kind of like brought it up upon ourselves to like train this guy and like party etiquette. You know, we're trying to like better him a little bit.
I love
But
it.
recently in our experiences, it has not gone well at all. You know, like this dude does not pull. He's like really like ruin our rep. You know, he always acts up like at parties and shit, and like we kind of always have to deal with it. And basically, like whenever he goes out with us, it's just a bad time. But you know, I've really been like trying to like get this kid to get it. You know, kind of just like to fit in. But it's not really happening, and we kind of hit a plateau where me and my squad just really don't know what to do with this kid, because we want to help him out and we want to like have him be chill with the boys, except like he's just not getting it, and like I don't think he'll ever be like that guy to come out with us and like have a good time. So I really don't know.
Well, I mean, I appreciate that you guys gave him a genuine try, though. You know what I mean?
I like that,
It
too.
doesn't seem like you were just like casual in making this appraisal, and I like that you want.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're definitely we try to include him.
Yeah, you want to integrate him in. I mean, yeah, there's going to be times where you guys just don't invite him out and just go out with your crew so you can have the ideal time for you guys, and then just try to be nice to him whenever you see him and treat him with respect. But you know, I think you're doing better than most would do. You know what I mean? And people will appreciate that you're being nice to them, because everyone knows when someone's kind of a turd and like a cooler person's being nice to that turd. And it's one of the coolest things a cool person can do. So I applaud you for that. But
Yeah.
But
the thing is, like, we kind of get some backlash for it. You know, like
what's that
it's kind
look
of one of
like?
those things where it's like we show up with him, everybody's like, oh, like what the fuck, like why'd you bring him here, like shit like that.
Is he that big of a schmoll where like is it at like a kickback that's happening, or at like a big party people are like,
No, we're talking like house parties and shit. Like,
Dude, I could totally
No,
see that. They're like, oh, they're coming over. They're gonna bring the schmoll. That sucks.
and then so you, like, are you worried about being not invited to things because of him being with you?
well, I mean, it's definitely like ruined our rep a little bit. But like the main thing is that this dude's a mess. Like whenever we go out with him, you know.
Oh, he gets
And,
too
like,
hammered
well-
and stuff.
Well, he gets too hammered. He like gets kicked out and shit because he always does like retarded shit. Like he'll be fucking like spilling shit everywhere. Like that's what happened last time. So like it's like very annoying, I guess.
Well, dude, I think you've done a lot of good deeds for him, but if he's acting up and getting kicked out of places, he's gonna have to like face some kind of repercussion or learn from that a little bit. You know, can't really.
Yeah, definitely. I follow.
That gives them kind of an out. You know what I mean? To be like,
Right.
like, why don't you invite me? It's like, well, you got kicked out of the last one, so
Yeah,
that gives
yeah,
you some
I feel
kind of
that.
reason to like, you know, let him know like it's not because he's a dweeb or anything. It's just, you know, he's messing up and he needs to get his shit in order.
There,
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing is we've definitely been telling him like, look, man, like we're really trying to like train you to like do this because you know he wasn't really that guy, but now he's like trying to go out with us, so we're trying to like help him out, you know, like showing him the ropes and shit. But it's just frustrating when he doesn't get it. Like it's hard for us.
Yeah.
it's tough, man. I wish I had an easier answer. I mean, I think the unfortunate reality is that just do your own thing. And then when if there comes moments where you can tell he needs some kindness, then try and extend that to him. You know, you can feel in him that he's feeling isolated, maybe bring him out to a party. But I think it's okay, even though it kind of sucks, to kind of like slow down and do your own thing without him.
Yeah, distance yourself.
But try and be compassionate, and if you can find some moments within that, you know, detach with love. If you can find some moments still to let them know that you care, I think that could go a long way. But I think, dude, you know, you're trying. Sounds like your crew's trying, and I think it's okay if you guys just kind of make it a little bit more your guys' thing and less his thing.
Oh, sweet, dude. That's some great advice. I feel that.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, party well and just try and be a good example to him. But, yeah, I get it, man.
All right. Yeah. On a side note, I just finished watching Mission Impossible 2. I
Dude.
fucking love Tom Cruise. That's my
Dude.
guy.
Great movie.
My dog, thank you.
Chimera.
How about that rock climbing scene, and then oh man,
Oh
there's
my God.
the motorcycle fight. Oh, that's all amazing, and the flow.
When he's in the lab and everybody thinks he's dead, and then this motherfucker comes out of the fire
Yes,
like, through that door like
Yes.
a fucking badass, dude.
the blood's loaded with Chimera.
I think I broke his jaw. Oh, you're a pisser.
Yeah.
He cuts off the dude's finger. Savage.
Yeah, that's a great Mission Impossible. Big ups to John Woo on the direction and for taking it next level. All right, dude, thank you for the call, man. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Yo, you guys are the fucking best.
Thanks, man.
For sure, dog.
Have a good one.
All right, yeah. I'll
Later.
catch you later.
Later, dog. That's so hard, man.
It's tough. Another good dude.
Yeah, and you know, my empathy is always because your empathy is going to go to the saddest person. You know what I mean? So you feel for the person who's going to be excluded. But it's so funny. I knew a lot of like crews where they were like, dude, we all like everyone would pick on one guy. And I'm like, quit picking on him. They're like, you don't know him.
Yeah.
And then after a week of spending time with him, I'd be picking on the guy.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, all right, now I get it.
Yeah.
But when you just hear about it at first brush, you're like, come on, guys, just let him hang out. But I don't have to deal with him.
A lot of people call with that problem, and it's like it's such a tough thing because
It's case by case too.
yeah,
Because some crews are too quick to be cruel to people.
he's messing shit up. So yeah, they're trying to help him out.
It's like my parents when I wanted to like break up with my girlfriend, they were like, no, not yet. You haven't tried hard enough. And then finally after like a certain amount of effort, they were like, all right, you can break up with her now. All right, here we go, guys.
I got to pee real quick.
All right. You know what? I'm going to do the same. We'll be right back, dude. Just whizzing real.
Just letting you guys know, it's just me right now, just Chad saying what up. You know, it's Halloween time, trying to get scared. Maybe I got a little too scared the other night. I saw a ghost, so I'm thinking that I should lay off the horror movies, but I don't know. I always wonder about that. Do horror movies invite real ghosts into your life? Some food for thought.
All right, dudes, we're going to do a few written questions. What's up, Chad and JT? We're big fans of the pod, but think our stoke level is a lot of times underestimated because we have vaginas. Considering we are both heterosexual, we aren't really down with making the transition to dude. We can hang with the bros, but really feel like they don't always understand how amped we are just because of our slim testosterone levels. Have any advice, bro, to babe on how to prove to the guys we can be just as stellar as them? Also, we are thinking about starting a pod, so advice for that would be chill too.
Thank you for the female write-in. I'm always stoked when ladies write in.
Yeah, the wider the demo, the better.
Yeah.
Old, young, woman, dude, you know, color, race, and creed. Let's mix it up.
Dog, if they have that function.
Absolutely. Interspecies. Podding.
I don't know. To me, like, if a girl comes at you all hard, like, trying to, like, test your manliness and your T levels, it's always kind of a turnoff to me. You know what I mean?
For me, it depends on how good she is at it.
If she can chug hard.
If she can chug harder, if she fucking slam dunks on me, I'm like, all right, well deserved. You know what I
when
mean?
you
But if
put-
it's overcompensating, yeah.
When you put it like that, if it's continual, I think if it's continual, if it's like, oh, you're a bitch, I'm like what? But if they come at you, so I think what you gotta do is have like something planned out. Like you come in, they're kicking it. You come in with your dog, your female dog, and you guys just rip a beer bong right in front of them.
I would say this. I got to quote Blue Crush. She asked her football playing new boyfriend. She's like, what should I do? And he's like, yo, be the type of girl who never asks a guy for advice. Like, you two are badass chicks. You know what to do. Just be your badass selves and don't worry about proving it to the fellas. You know, prove it to yourselves. You guys got this. Just do it.
Just live those sick ways that you know you can. You don't need their approval.
They'll notice.
If you're on your own, if you guys are just getting like high off your own supply, internally, just like dominating whatever you're doing, they're gonna take notice and they'll be like, wow, we should kick it with them.
We should have her on the podcast. But my friend Ray, like, she just brings it when she parties, and
Yeah.
like, she doesn't need to say to me that she's like, you know. She has a couple times been like, you're a pussy.
Yeah.
And I didn't always appreciate it. But most of the time, she's just straight up doing the domination, and it doesn't even need to be said. It's just happening.
She's like, let's nickname her the Deuce.
And then very cool name.
Yeah.
And then in terms of starting a pod, I think my advice is always the same. David Mamet said, how do you write a great play? You just write a lot of plays. So just start it. Just start recording episodes, and then you guys will get better as you go, and it could turn into a fucking banger.
Yeah, you can read as many books as you want, do all that, do as many YouTube videos as you want. The only thing that'll count is when you start doing it. So start doing it, and then you'll figure it out.
All right, what up, Chad and John Thomas? Here's the deal. So I've been dating a lovely lady for over 3 years now, and we've been living together for about 2 years. She has recently deceived me. We currently have a very low-tier toilet paper roll in use, and it's in no way helping either of us maintain stoke. I would throw it away, but producing paper is resource-intensive, so simply tossing it would make me feel like a bastard. The real issue here is that my girlfriend has secretly been using the high-quality stuff I recently bought, leaving me to work through the gritty sandpaper of a roll alone. Should I accept that she, being a perfect princess, is entitled to the best of the best when it comes to the toilet papers, or should I bring down the paper and hide all the good stuff up in a high place where the little bitch can't reach? She's not a little bitch. I love her. Thank you, Chad and JT Michael. Sounds like you guys have fun rapport. I would not continue this game of hoarding resources. I would tell her that your butt deserves the same treatment as hers, and that you guys are equal in this relationship, and that you'll share the best with her and she'll share the best with you. That's the ideal solution.
Yeah, be the more noble one in this situation. Just be like, look, we're doing Charmin Double Ultra all the time for all people in this living establishment. I'm putting it under the sink. I'm putting it wherever you put it, and that's what we're using. This low tier stuff, that's if we need to like smooth out some wood, that's what we'll use, because that's what it is, sandpaper for my beehole. So just be like, it's Charmin Double Ultra. That's it. And don't deceive her. Don't hide anything from her. Just love her.
And I love the egalitarian approach. Like, the best of it is shared amongst all of us. You know what I mean? And if we have to downgrade, then we all downgrade. We're all in this together. That promotes camaraderie and bonding. All right, guys, that's it for questions this week. Chad, who is your babe of the week?
My babe of the week is Kenny Loggins. Long overdue, my dogs. If you haven't heard Kenny Loggins' jams, let me just say 2 words: Danger Zone. There's also one other word: Footloose. There's also 4 words: Playing with the Boys. All killer hits. Kenny Loggins is responsible for the Top Gun soundtrack, the Footloose soundtrack. I don't think all the songs, but the big hits on those. And a lot of other just jams. And, dude, he's just such a babe, man. Like, the fact that he was able to take Tom Cruise's charisma and create it in the form of music and just create these jams that I can listen to every day and never get tired of. You listen to them and you're like, man, the 80s were awesome. Kenny was just killing it. So I just want to give him major props for making killer soundtracks to killer movies and just continually just dominating in that field. And Kenny, you have a killer name. Kenny Loggins, it's so cool. And I hope to see you live one day. And I really, I don't think there's much more that needs to be said. You killed it. I love your jams. They make me want to grind my hips, or gyrate my hips, and just find a beautiful lady and on the dance floor and break it down.
I think he owned a decade, and he owned the decade that owns all decades. Dude, the lyrics to I'm Free.
Oh, I forgot about I'm Free. Yeah.
And you love it.
I
from
love
Footloose.
Yeah,
and it's when he's fucking just training in that empty warehouse and he's swinging on all these well-placed pipes. Looking into your eyes, I know I'm right. If there's anything worth my love, it's worth a fight.
Inspiration.
My babe of the week is Rihanna.
Nice.
Rihanna, you're beautiful. And I just love your whole ethos, dude. I love how vulnerable you are. I love how raw you are. I love how you take all of your like mistakes and make it into beautiful art. I've loved the trajectory of your career from like young pop star to like adult auteur. And yeah, you just got so many hits along the way. Some of my favorites: Umbrella, Disturbia, Rude Boy.
Dude, Umbrella, yes.
And that last album, Anti, was just tremendous. The song Higher with those cascading strings, just beautiful. And I love the way you've tested yourself vocally. And I really feel like I know you through your music. So I know it's like, why compare them? But like with Beyonce, she's amazing. She's so talented. But I feel like I don't know her. I feel she's just like this, juggernaut of like commercial success. And with Rihanna, it's like she's just as successful, but it's like I feel like I see her heart in everything she does. And I think that really makes your music so impactful. And yeah, like Drake said, just take care. That's another really good one.
Yeah, she is a little more real. Like she does have kind of like a little bit of a grungier thing where you're just like, yeah, I could kick it with you at a rager.
Yeah, she's not putting on airs for anybody. She seems like totally low key. I heard she used to post on 420 every day, just her smoking weed on 420 every day. Right. And like, if one of my friends was doing that, I'd worry about him a little bit or her a little bit. But Rihanna, like you doing it when you're such a big star, it's like you're keeping it like high and low, and I think that's cool.
Apparently Jay-Z said that when she walked into the room, like he knew she was a star. She just walked in, he's like, that's a star.
You can feel that.
Yeah.
Chad, who is your legend of the week?
My legend of the week is Harrison Ford.
This is a big week.
He's got a number of things, or a couple of ways to describe him. Fire charisma. That carefree attitude that everyone just loves, where you're like, damn, this dude's a badass. He's a rebel. He doesn't care. But I also think he has a lot of heart. Princess Leia goes, I love you. I know. Yes. I've always wanted to do that. That's like, yes. And he's in that freaking metal in Star Wars, and like he's just like chilling in there. He was probably in his mind when he was chilling in that whatever that metal was. He's probably like, yeah, he's like, this is pretty cool. Like, I'll get out of this soon. I know it. He wasn't worried at all. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get frozen in this shit for a little bit, and then I'll get out, and I'm gonna fly my ship with my big Wookiee. It's gonna be all good. And he's also a good politician. He killed as president. So that's the kind of president you want. Like, you want a president who, well, if Russians come on your airplane, he'll take care of business. He won't be like, oh, Secret Service, take care of this. He's like, no, this is my country. This is my plane. This is Air Force One. I'm going to get these motherfuckers off my plane.
The Secret Service tries to jettison him off the plane to get to safety, but he's not leaving his wife and kid behind.
No.
I'm skipping this escape. I'm staying.
Yeah. Dude, I watched The Fugitive with Caroline recently, and we just thoroughly enjoyed it. It was so good. And you just really felt he was really in a major pickle, but he was so capable. And that's how he got out of the situation.
You doctored the documents.
Indiana Jones. Did I watch the Steven Spielberg documentary recently? And he was in Indiana Jones. He can take on full-on, Egyptian voodoo, whatever the fuck it is, and just take it, smile at it. In that one scene where the guy has his sword and he's doing all this sword play and he just shoots him? That is the way you do it. He just knows how to handle every situation. He landed a plane on the freeway in real life, so all that stuff and you see in the movies is for real. So thank you, Harrison Ford, for being a legend, for inspiring me, for being super handsome, and just showing me the kind of dude that I want to be.
He's a beast. All right, my legend of the week is John. John's in the sex addiction program with me. I always had a problem with the fact that it's anonymous. Like, they're like, that's like I'm not trying to overthrow the system, but like I like talking about it. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? Because I don't want people to be ashamed that they're getting help. I think that's good that people get help. You know what I mean? It should be, commended. If you do a good job of it. I mean, if you keep relapsing, the virtue of it diminishes a little bit. I'm talking about me. But I'm on a better trajectory now because I was really struggling with porn. And then I went over to John's place and he helped me install Net Nanny on my laptop. And dude, it was not easy. We downloaded it. I paid for it like 3 times because it kept saying it wasn't working. And it would have taken weeks to like get the original one to work. So I bought a new one and we tried to install it, and my OS, my operating system, was too new, so it didn't work. So we literally had to go into the coding and create all these like back channels to make it work. And it took hours. And at one point I was like, fuck it. God wants me to masturbate. That's it. Like, what are we doing? We've been here for hours. It's not working. And this was like the third time I had tried this at a brother's house where like they were trying to install it on my computer and it wasn't working. And then I was like, fuck it. God wants me to masturbate. And then John said to me, he's like, stop making yourself a victim. And I was like, damn, you're right. Thank you. And then we just kept working on it. And then by the end of the day, and there's nothing in it for this guy. You know, he's not getting money. I'm not hanging out with him all the time because of it. Not that that would be some big coup. He's just doing it to be of service, which is supposed to be the bedrock of the program. And at the end of it, he got me the net nanny. And now, anytime I type into a porn site, if I go to it, in big blocks goes net nanny. And I'm like, hell yeah, I can't get on that stuff. And I'm really proud of it because it's really helping me. I went to get Audacity fixed, the sound editing program that I use for the podcast. And I was at the Mac store and they were like, what's this net nanny? I was like, that's so I can't look at porn. Thank you, John. So John, and he's always a great dude at the meetings. He gives great shares and he's a fun dude to hang with afterwards. And he's helped a lot of dudes. And I can't really say who he is, but you know who you are. And you're my legend of the week, dude. Thank you. All right, dude. What is your beef of the week?
All right, my beef of the week, it involves my dogs Brett and Chris from college, and I'd say the beef is maybe with the authorities, maybe with this fire extinguisher. I'll elaborate. So they were hammered. It was freshman year, blacked out as you do on freshman year. I'm not encouraging that, but that's usually what happens because you're like, whoa, I can do anything. I'm gonna drink 2/5 tonight of Smirnoff, and so they were blacked out. Just having a blast, you know, and they're like, you know what, let's take this a step further. Let's steal a golf cart. I don't think they meant to steal it per se, but they're like, let's take a ride, you know, because when you're having fun, you want to amplify that fun. And what is more fun than a golf cart? Probably nothing. And so they get in the golf cart. Security comes on their Segways. The college security on their Segways, they're coming in. They're like, Nyeh. They're like, hey, what are you doing? They're like, oh, fuck. But they're so blacked out they don't even know how to move, you know, so they're just like walking in circles. Security's coming after them, and then Chris, in a bold move, takes the fire extinguisher and starts spraying them with it, you know, and then eventually security took them down. The cops came, but the best part about it was that the fire extinguisher did not stop extinguishing. So it was just on in the street, spinning in circles because all the extinguisher was just like spraying out of it. So it was just, and there was a giant cloud over the whole dorm from the extinguisher. It was the best thing I've ever seen. And we were just watching it from like off campus because we're safe here. This is hilarious. And they got taken to the drunk tank. So I guess the beef would be with the authorities for spoiling their good time. You know, let them ride the golf cart as long as they're safe. Let them extinguish whatever they want to extinguish. I'd say that cloud is more of a legend than a beef. That cloud and just the idea of a fire extinguisher spinning in circles like that, it was awesome. So shout out to Brett and Chris for bringing a great epic tale to my freshman year of college. Chris is so funny, man. He just gets blacked out and he just like will just be smiling. He laughs like this. He goes, tss, tss, tss,
I love that.
for like the whole night. It's awesome.
My beef of the week is the throwdown on Main Street. My dogs and I were in Laguna Beach having some drinks. We had one friend with us who was famous. And then the rest of us were just regular dudes. I think it was me, Strider, Brooks, Nooch, Robbie. I think Trevor. I'm not sure on Trevor and the famous dude. We're walking down the street and we didn't know where to find the bar Hennessy's. So we saw a dude walking by, small guy. And we said, hey, dude, do you know where Hennessy's is? And he goes, yeah, I can tell you where Hennessy's is. Once you guys stop being such bleep. He used a pejorative for being gay. And he said this in Laguna Beach, which is big on the gays. Like, there's a lot of gay people there. So I looked around. I was like, Jesus, dude, like, relax. You're in their home territory. Like, what are you doing? And then we were like, okay, buddy. I don't know why you had to be rude. And then he was like, yeah, I had to be rude because you guys are fucking bitches. Just kept talking shit. And then some of his friends came up and they were like, fuck you, fuck you. And we're all like, you know what? Fuck you. And then me, Brooks, and Strider turn around and we leave to walk towards Hennessy's. I get about 50 yards down the road. I turn back and there's a melee happening. All the dudes are punching and firing. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I come sprinting up the hill. I'm running. I'm like, I gotta get there. And all these guys are just heaving bombs. I didn't know what had happened, but fists were flying. I run up. One dude is fighting one guy. Robbie is on top of one guy, dropping a haymaker. Our famous friend is pretty tall. He's jabbing a guy in the face. It looks like he's fencing. He's just keeping the guy at distance with jabs. And then two guys are running to get Robbie from behind. What are their intentions? I don't know. But I have to assume the worst because I can't let something bad happen. So I run. I get there at the last second before the two guys get behind Robbie, and I deliver a shove blow from full speed. I shove one of the guys. His body opens up. He flies. He hits the other guy. They both go to the ground. In my head, I say, yes, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. At that moment, another guy grabs me, turns around, starts hitting me in the face. Then his girlfriend runs up and she starts hitting me in the face. I just start absorbing the blows. I'm like, da, 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 da. I don't return fire. I'm kind of like just shocked. Da, 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 da. Then Brooks and Strider come up and they break up the fight and they start pushing everybody apart. And in my head, I'm like, protect the famous guy. Like, we don't want him to be on TV the next day. So we're like, everybody get the king out of here. Move. And we start like forming a circle around him and pushing everybody away. Plus, like, we didn't want his dad to be mad at us in the morning and be like, he can't hang out with you guys anymore because you're knuckleheads and you're going to, he won't be able to be good famous anymore because you guys. So we're like, we can't let this happen. So we're like, get him out of here. Brooks grabs a guy's sweater, throws it back to the guy. Robbie really messed up the guy's face. The guy had some cuts on him and stuff. I was like, good work, Robbie. You really know how to throw blows. If you guys remember, I did another story where Robbie got into a fight and broke a guy's nose. Robbie had a rough older brother, Ross, who used to beat him up, but he really trained Robbie and how to defend himself when he was out in public against other people who weren't as tough as his older brother. And then, we all get out of there. I start walking down the street with the guys. Oh, the six guys are yelling at us. They're like, fuck you. And they were from somewhere else. They were from like Palm Desert or something. And I just looked at them. I said, dude, stay the fuck out of Laguna Beach, dudes. Don't ever come back to Laguna Beach. I don't know if they ever came back. I don't really regulate stuff like that. We start walking down the street away. And then I touch my nose and there's blood. And then I go, I'm bleeding from the nose. I was jacked. But then the famous guy got a taste of the violence and he wanted to get back in there. So he ran back to get in. I said, hey, famous guy, back up. And I shoved him. And then he went, what? And then he went to fight me. And I was like, what are you doing? I'm just trying to protect you because you're famous. Everybody broke us up. Then we went to the bar and I was upstairs and I ran into some girls I knew. And I was like, oh, sorry, I'm bleeding. I didn't clean the blood. I wanted everybody to see it. I was like, oh, sorry, I'm bleeding in the nose. We just got into a big fight outside. Told everybody about it. Me, Strider, and Brooks went to sleep. We were like, all right, we're done. The fight took it out of us. Robbie, who was 19 at the time, picked up a woman it was her 50th birthday, brought her back to his mom's house. She liked Robbie more than the famous guy, which speaks volumes about Robbie's charm. They made love, and he told her, this was kind of not right, but he told her that he was the famous guy's agent too, and that it was his big house, not his mom's big house. He slept with the 50-year-old lady. In the morning, he put on a suit, got his dad's briefcase, woke her up and said, I have a business conference in Seattle. I'm sorry. We have to leave. And got her an Uber home. And then came back downstairs, smoked some pot, and probably played some FIFA.
Dude, the fucking briefcase.
Yeah.
Really sealing the deal.
Yeah, and said he was an agent. He should have just told her he was 19, but that he lived a crazy life. Plus, he can lay the oof, to quote Cameron. And that was the epic melee that was the fight on Main Street, the Laguna Beach throwdown. My movie quote of the week is from the film Out of Sight by Steven Soderbergh, one of my favorite directors. It's based on an Elmore Leonard book. Elmore Leonard's the best crime writer in the biz. He passed away, but he was. And he writes really cool characters who are criminals, but they're super relatable. And George Clooney plays the bank robber in this movie, Jack Foley, who's being chased by Karen Sisco, played by Jennifer Lopez, who's a U.S. Marshal. But here's the kicker. They're super into each other. So she's going to arrest him, but they're still going to date a little bit. But, she still has to honor her job. And he kind of knows that, so he knows there's like a ticking clock on their relation. But one night they find time, sorry to spoil it, and they get together. And then in the morning, she's worried that he's going to like just brag to his like bank robber buddies about how he had sex with a U.S. Marshal. But Jack Foley, although he's a bank robber, is like a super big gentleman. And he tells her that he won't do that because most bank robbers are dumb. He goes, I doubt if 1 in 20 could tell you what a die pack is. Most bank robbers are fucking morons. And then he goes, so you sleeping with one just for like cheap thrills would make you a moron. And he's like, and you're not a moron. And then she says, you're not dumb. And then he laughs a little bit, says something to himself and says, well, I don't know. You can't do 3 falls and say you have much of a brain. Jack, you're so low-key and cool, dude, because you are the smartest bank robber, but there's just not a lot of longevity in being a bank robber, and it's not the smartest career to pick. So you're obviously doing it because you got some itch that you got to scratch. And you get that, though. And that's what makes you such a cool bank robber, along with your dedication and loyalty to your best friend, Ving Rhames, whose name is Buddy. He was a good buddy to you. And it's a great movie. It's probably my favorite movie. And it has a very good director's commentary. And it's a very cool movie. So I recommend it to everybody. Chad, what is your movie quote of the week?
My movie, the quote of the week, is from Jerry Maguire. He's saying to Rod, he's like, I'll tell you why you don't have your million. You play for the money. You play with your head, not your heart. When you get on the field, it's all about what you didn't get. Who's to blame? Who's got the contract you didn't get? That is not what inspires people. Shut up. Play the game from your heart. Then I'll show you the quan, and that's the truth. You know, props to Jerry for knowing that it's you gotta come from the heart. We've also got Ridge Wallet. Do you want to do Ridge Wallet?
Yeah, sure thing. As a lot of you know, I have a friend, Daniel Babona, who's a baseball coach at UCI. He's a hell of a guy. He's a man of few words, strong, good looks, and a cool vibe. You know what he reminds me of? Ridge Wallet. Ridge Wallet is a minimalist front pocket wallet that helps you reevaluate your everyday carry. Launched by a father-son team and funded on Kickstarter in 2013, the Ridge now resides in the pockets of over 250,000 men and women. The RFID blocking wallet is made by two metal plates, either titanium, carbon fiber, or aluminum, bound together by a durable elastic band. It's the perfect sleek wallet that just looks so perfect on Danny, dude, because he's a sleek dude and he's very minimalist, and so it just complements him and he complements the wallet. The Ridge helps you carry less, but always have what you need. Dude, it's really, really solid. I like the wallet a lot. Danny's having a great time with it, and it's really going to help his team win a national title this year. So if you're a young dude, buy a Ridge wallet and take it to UCI baseball so you can win a title with my dog. They should call it UC Newport Beach because it's right there. And you know what's perfect for Newport Beach? A Ridge wallet.
Get 10% off today with free worldwide shipping by going to ridgewallet.com/Chad. ridgewallet.com/Chad. Use code CHAD. And also, Douglas Lubricant. Smooth boning smooth. Make sure you bone smooth with Douglas Lubricant. All right, that'll be it for episode 40-something of Going Deep with Chad and JT. Thank you guys so much for calling in. And patreon.com/Chad Goes Deep. Later, dudes.
Later, Stokers.
If you need advice,